Then, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alex Costa Show. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, July 6th of 2022. It has been beautiful weather-wise here in gorgeous Poughkeepsie. I don't know why I called it gorgeous. Poughkeepsie is just okay. But we are here. We're having some fun. Before I introduce anybody, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, Spotify and iTunes, spread us word of mouth, find us on socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just go search the Alex Costa Show. You will find us there. My logo is extremely plain, but it makes it easy for everybody. So we are back. We're having another fun week. David is here. Hi, David.
Hi.
How are you today?
Currently working on what we're doing. Trying to make it as easy as possible.
This is actually a breakthrough in Alex Costa Show history. David's actually
me actually doing something
for an episode. Dave, this is the first episode, and me and Dave have done over 100 episodes together between Cuesta Dos, Alex Costa Show, a bunch of stuff. This is the first time I've ever seen David put any effort into the show. Usually it's me doing all the work. It's fun every once in a while to just not do it. David's taken some big steps. He's done small talk. He's actually led a show completely with me here. Him and Joe did one a while ago together, which was really good when I couldn't do one. But it's big steps. David, you're growing. You're exactly like the protagonist we're going to talk about today. You are growing. You're surpassing all of your limits, Dave. How does it feel?
Feels like work.
Radio silence.
Feels like work. That's what it feels like.
Feels like gotta do the work in order to claim your spot in society. Anyway, we are back this week with our good buddy, HACKnoCAP. What up, dude?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Excuse me.
Oh, Jesus Christmas. Okay. Let's kick him out. No. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. I got in case you didn't know, I got a EP dropping on Friday at midnight. So if you guys want to listen to that, run it up. It's gonna have your new favorite song called "Waiting" on it. So that's the song of the summer.
That's going to be fun. Now, Hack, I have a question. What's up with artists releasing shit at midnight? I'm an old ass man.
Actually,
I am asleep.
There's a process to it. So a lot of artists, like say Kanye, once you're bigger, the music week starts on Friday. So in order to get the most streams and the most plays and to break week long records, you release on a Friday. Like usually for someone like me, I'm better off. The only reason Friday works for me is because it's close to the weekend. You know, people are free. So I could drop on a Saturday or Sunday and probably get the same amount of intake on a Friday. It's just, hey, if I could compete with Drake, that'd be pretty cool.
I love it. Every time Hack comes on, he drops a little bit of like insider knowledge about how the industry works. And it's bizarre because, Hack's a little closer than I am in terms of being noticed and stuff because he actually gets real plays. He gets decent numbers on his songs. But it's like we're in a very interesting, similar spot where we're in the business, but we're on the outside looking in at the same time. So you learn a lot, you know a lot, you understand a lot. And it's just like, just give me a chance to put this all to work type of deal. Like, it's been interesting. So, Hack, talk a little bit about your EP. Kind of what motivated you to do this one? You kind of have a motivation for all of them, and I know there's been so many times where you finish an EP and you're kind of like, I might be done. Like this isn't. Yeah, this was hard. Like I don't know if I want to go back to doing this. I put myself in some shitty places to make songs. Like, and then every time it takes you a little bit, maybe a month, you're just like working on a new project. Like I got some more motivation. What was the motivation? What was the inspiration here that put you back into that deep, dark realm? And if you say it's Black Clover, I'll be really happy.
No, absolutely not. I wish it'd be a lot more uplifting. But these songs aren't super sad. I mean, they're upbeat, but sad undertones. The thing, I think the driving motivational factor behind these songs is, a lot changed this past few years in my life. a lot of my friends, they moved away.
Biggest thing is Hack got Diesel. Hack went from the chubby kid that was in decent shape but had a little bit of baby fat to honestly, Super Chad could take your dad. Honestly, that is who he is. So keep going, Hack.
I appreciate you noticing that first off. But yeah, going back to the EP is like, a lot of my friend David, you moved away. Sully was in the academy, Rob back to school. So a lot of it is just about like some sort of isolation and just getting used to, not having something to do all the time and, falling into monotonous life, get up, go to work, go home, go to the gym, do it again the next day. A lot of it is about that. So it is a dark place, but I made it fun. But like I said, in my latest release, what is that song called again? Mind, Body, Soul. It's just it's about like, it's just getting yourself into that place. Like sometimes I force it on myself and it sucks. I'm selling my soul, but I hope I get a nice return out of it. And I'm a lot of things. I'm a failure. I'm loser. I'm a winner. But I want to be defined by what I'm not, and that's a quitter. So I'm not a quitter.
Hack just giving everyone what it's like to enter into adulthood because he's talking about it right there. But you know what, though? The thing that you have that a lot of people don't, the thing that all of us have is a healthy hobby.
Yeah.
Doing music's a healthy hobby. You're not drinking every night. You're not doing hard drugs all the time. Like, you're a workoutaholic. You do your shit. You make your music. You take 23 showers and then you're all good. So, that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm one of your biggest supporters. I know Dave's one of your biggest supporters. And you're gaining every single time. So keep it up. I'm looking forward to the EP. We will maybe do something next week with it. Dave and I might maybe switch up the intro, maybe throw some Hack in the intro instead for some fun. Who knows? We might throw that in there. But we're going to jump into the show today. Normally we have a preview for you guys with Hack songs. We just want to let you listen to itself, and we might have a long ass show today. So we kind of have to get to it. Yeah. Dave was nice enough to do the legwork on creating something for us to work off of. Now,
within like half an hour.
Yeah, he did a lot. He did it quick. If you were here last week, we did a nice long episode. We talked a lot about anime, and we just kind of went into all nerd culture. We talked Lord of the Rings, Halo, anime, a little bit of everything. Today, we're just focusing on anime because Hack talked about it last week, wanting to kind of just create our own tiers. So this is kind of like the Alex Cuesta show, anime manga tiers list. We're going to talk about basically the anime and manga that the three of us have essentially all read or watched. And between the three of us, we've read a ton. I'm kind of here as the old head to defend kind of the older ones that they're going to want to put in like the DC tier and tell them to fuck off. It belongs to be higher for this reason, this reason, this reason. Joe and I are certainly going to go at it with the Yu Yu Hakusho, which is going to be great. But let's get going. Dave, if you want to lead off, since this is your list, you put in the work. I will let you start off the list, kind of introduce an episode. Dave, you're waving your hands. What do you want?
I know, I'm just stretching.
All right, so start off the list. Let's have some fun. Anime list, Alex Cuesta show style. Go.
All we're going to do is just go down this huge list, over 50 anime that are out and you can watch and what we think of them. We're going to be actually utilizing a tier list. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to see it, but it helps us in order to describe what we're doing. So we're going to start off. This is not alphabetical order, but just the order that I came into the tier list with Bobobo. Now, I love Bobobo. I think it's hilarious. For the most part, I saw a lot of it when I was younger. Overall, I would give it probably a B. Because, I mean, while it is very funny, it's not something that I'm really watching continuously.
Yeah, I'm with Dave there. I was going to put in a solid B. This is the first gag anime I was ever introduced to. And I think a lot of people were when watching it. It premiered on Toonami. And Bobobo was awesome. It's really zany, thing right from the get-go. He uses his nose hair to beat the shit out of enemies. There's a son that goes insane, Don Patrick. There's a lot of fun here. The plot, there actually is a plot, which is bizarre.
There is a plot.
There is a legitimate plot, but it progresses, it does its things. But yeah, I agree. I put Bobobo in a B tier. Hack, are you there with us with the B tier of Bobobo?
Yeah, like David, I really only watched it when I was little. I thought it was hilarious. I had no clue what the story was, so this might be an uneducated B tier placement, but I think this is because if you had to rank Family Guy, you wouldn't rank Family Guy S tier like in American culture. So I think this is almost like, I'm not going to compare it because the humor is completely different, but I'd say this is like a Family Guy of anime.
I could probably get with that. Maybe because they both don't care about racism. They both make terrible jokes. Yeah, it's actually pretty close, Joe.
Also, I didn't mean to make a joke there by putting it in B tier. I realized what I was doing with Bobobo in B tier after the fact.
Oh no, that's a fair assessment.
I just thought it was a fair assessment. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Weathering with You, which I have not seen. I've been told to watch it by Joe. I don't know if you've seen it, Alex. Yeah, no. I'm gonna let Joe take the reins on this one. I'm gonna go with what he said because Joe really enjoyed this one.
This is a biased ranking, by the way.
No, it's not. I'm gonna be completely honest with everything about this ranking. So I'm gonna place that at a B tier. Weathering with You is a great story, but the movie itself, the plot, it's solid, but I feel like it could have been longer, it could have been better developed. I think it would be better as a 4 episode
an OVA type
anime.
of deal.
Yeah, kind of going like that. A problem is presented and it's solved within 5-10 minutes, if that. It's very good, but I gotta give it B.
So next, another one I didn't watch. I don't think Alex watched either. Your Name. I believe it's a movie.
Yes. Both of these are movies by the same guy. And Your Name actually came out first. And this is the first S tier. I'm giving it an S. You guys haven't seen it, so maybe it's biased, but this is a slap.
I'm cool with that.
If you want to watch,
a lot of good things about Your Name.
Mm-hmm. I have heard a lot of good things, so I won't.
Not disputing.
It'll make a grown man with the hairiest chest cry. I will say that Weathering with You has one of the greatest quotes I think I've ever heard in anime. So basically it's about the weather, and this girl controls the weather, but she has to die for the weather to go back to normal. And they're falling in the sky, and the main character reaches out and he goes something along the lines, I don't need a set it. Your life is better than any rising sun, or something like that. And that's fire. One of the best.
Anime people, one thing about us anime manga people, we're emotional fucks. We love like the heartfelt shit. That is just who we are.
Break me down, fucking hurt me, dude.
Now I'll talk about the next one. Have either of you actually seen or read Sailor Moon? It was on Toonami for a long time. You might have caught
when I was younger.
Dave, you might have caught a few episodes while I watched it.
Yeah. I caught it on Toonami because I was a big Toonami guy.
People. Sailor Moon is an A tier anime, and probably even a better manga for the sole reason that when you talk, we talk about like anime and stuff, especially like the girl power you would put it in a whatchamacallit, what's Dragon Ball Z in them? What's a shonen? It's like a female shonen girl power type of thing.
Lost your mind for a second there.
Yeah, I lost it. Yeah, talking about anime, don't know the categories. Great. But when you talk about scaling, Usagi, the main Sailor Moon, is probably Goku level, if not stronger by the time they finish. She can close out a universe by the time it's done. And just the storytelling from the get-go, I watched it as a little boy and I was hooked. I had no idea that it was meant for girls. It was just a good show with a fun plot. And it was campy. It was stupid. But I think in terms of just the effect that it had on all anime outside of that, especially the women group anime, everything. And yes, I am putting Legacy as a factor in these, whether you guys want to or not. Legacy will be a factor here. It is an A-tier anime for a lot of reasons. And yeah, so let's keep going.
Next, we have Digimon Digital Monsters.
Digimon are the champions.
So, yet again, Digimon is something I only really saw when I was younger. I don't remember too much of it, but I also was not hooked on it. So I'm going to give it a C.
I'm going with C tier. I think that, in terms of, I watched a good amount of Digimon. In terms of actual quality, it was probably better than Pokemon, better than Yu-Gi-Oh, honestly.
What?
But honestly, if you watch the show, it was a fun show, but it doesn't have the same impact and it loses the plot. Like the early parts of Digimon were good. It loses the plot pretty quick.
When did you watch this?
Digimon when I was younger.
As a joke, I was recommended. I actually was watching a critical video where he said, go back and watch Digimon. And I agree. It sucks. It's bad. It's
well, I mean, if you go back and watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh, the original Yu-Gi-Oh is not great. The original Yu-Gi-Oh kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But in terms of, again, Digimon has a legendary part where it actually lasted as a Pokemon copy for a long time.
I was the biggest Digimon fan growing up. I had a Digimon skateboard. It's fucking, but going back and looking at it as a critique, it sucks. Put it at the bottom of the list. I don't even think it deserves D tier.
See, I don't
have anything lower than D tier.
I'll put it in the Shadow Realm.
Dave, are you going with a C or a D?
I'm going to go with a C.
It sucks.
I have
no problem.
Majority rules. Okay, good thing there's only 3 of us. Digimon sucks.
Next, we have Big O, which I'm pretty sure both Joe and I have never seen, but Alex wanted to include it. So go ahead and tell us what you think, Alex.
Big O is short. Big O is sweet. Big O is awesome. It is a mech, a big mech anime. And it's basically, if you ever hear anything comparative, you'll see it constantly. Go look up the Big O. They're like, this is the Batman of anime. The lead character is really fucking cool. He has a giant mech that he uses. The fights are fun. I'm putting this in probably, I want to put it in the B tier, but maybe because it didn't get the reach that it should, it might have to be C tier. Just because. Throw it in C tier for now. It's a really good anime, but it's kind of an anime. I feel like part of it is if you have to explain what the anime is too, it can't be that high. Because even if it's like, your name and all that, like those are really popular. A lot of people know what those are. I mean, I can't put anything super high if people don't know what the fuck it is.
That's pretty fair.
I also have to mention this. We're not including some of the legendary ones like Conan the Detective, Akira, things like that are popular and older and like, Astro Boy. Those are automatic S tiers. They are the legends that, they might be above because those are the foundations that a lot of our anime come from. So, and a lot of our manga come from, and none of us have seen them, but I know Conan the Detective is popular in Japan to this day. It has like 7 million seasons and they love it there. Akira is legendary. Akira is kind of like you're going back to the original Superman. Like they all go where they go. So, Dave, you want to go ahead? Sorry, I just need to do that quick aside.
No problem. I'm not allowing for debate on this one because I'm in control of the tier list. Chainsaw Man is getting an S from me. It has become my favorite manga of all time. Probably, I would say. I don't know exactly what else I'd put up with it right now. I haven't given it a crazy amount of thought, but Chainsaw Man is definitely up there. I think if Mappa does the anime right, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be anime of the year. So it's S tier, no doubt in my mind.
Certainly S tier. I agree.
I've never sped through any reading in my entire life. I finished that in like 3 days, if that.
Fair,
I don't want to talk about the plot because it's so good and it's so fast paced. People shit on it for that, but that's really the only thing they have.
I don't know how you could shit on it for that because that was the funnest part. The pacing made it so easy to read. That's the thing. It was easy to read, and it was for something that fast paced. It was still easy to digest. There were some times where I was lost and I had to go back and be like, the fuck just happened and read it again. But it's not like Attack on Titan where you get through reading 40 pages and you're just like, I have to read it again.
Mm-hmm. And it's
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Chainsaw Man S tier. I'm not arguing that. We're waiting for the next arc to come out. We're waiting for the anime. It could end up sucking.
It could drop to B, but
as of now,
part 1 S tier.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No question.
No doubt. I've already waxed poetic about this on this podcast. So I don't need
plenty.
Next is Fist and North Star, which I did reread not that recently, but I still remember a damn good amount of it. I mean,
It holds up.
it really, really, really holds up. I think I'm going to put it in A tier. I think there's a little bit to be desired for it to be an S tier, but I can hear the argument for S tier. I'm going to say A tier though.
Oh my woman.
You're already dead.
Honey?
So fun thing. I agree. Fist of the North Star, A tier, solid A tier. But you can argue S tier with it because of its, again, legacy, legendary impact. A lot of guts from Berserk is based off of Kenshiro. There's a lot of the same characteristics, and Miura admitted that a lot of guts is based off of Kenshiro, just the way he acts and all that. So, fact that I'm spoiling that. An automatic S tier in Berserk gets his influence from one of these characters, and yeah, one of the biggest quotes in anime history is "You're already dead." Like you can't. That's one of the most legendary. You don't have to be a weeb to know that quote from.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it was a huge.
And fun fact about Fist of the North Star, I was playing the Sega video game as a small child without knowing it was based off that. There was a video game on Sega named The Last Battle, and it was based directly on Fist of the North Star. But because Americans hate Japanese shit beforehand, they didn't think that Fist of the North Star, the name, would sell. And they didn't, or Kenshiro's thing or anything like that. So they named it Last Battle. They didn't give him a name. And I didn't know I was playing as Kenshiro well beforehand, playing through Fist of the North Star. And also a fun fact, my mother was the best at that fucking game. She got past two bosses when I couldn't even get past the first one. Mind you, I was like 5. But still, cool fact about that. So if you ever want to play as Kenshiro, get a Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive, go get The Last Battle, and you can play Fist of the North Star story. All right, let's go on next.
Next is another legendary one, Pokemon. For me, the Pokemon anime specifically, I think I'm going to put it in the A tier, even though I'm not going to lie to you, I feel like that's still stretching a little bit anime-wise. Now, if you want to bring legacy and just popularity, it's triple S tier. It's in space. But if I'm just talking about the anime, especially because I haven't read the manga, I'm gonna go A, but it's like an A minus.
Joe, you can go ahead first.
I gotta give it a B. I understand the legacy. I mean, this franchise had people running in front of cars a couple of years ago and hurting themselves trying to catch virtual Pokemans. So
people still play it.
Yeah, I'm not doubting its legacy. Yeah. I'm not doubting its impact. But if I had to look at it subjectively and critique it, it's kind of a B, maybe even lower. But just because of its legacy, I think it holds it up.
So you two have not read the manga? It is an S.
Absolutely not.
It's an S. The battles are legitimate in the manga. Pokemon die, people die. There's legitimate world things. Team Rocket's not just a bunch of campy idiots. They're a legitimate evil organization. The gym trainers have a much bigger factor. The Elite Four is fantastic in the beginning. Red is not Ash. He's a badass motherfucker. Like, there is so much more in the manga, and I recommend anybody to go. If you're a Pokemon fan, especially one, my age in the 30s that used to love Pokemon and kind of got tired because Ash stayed 12 forever, like, go read the manga. It's well worth it. It is fantastic. I would put it S tier for the manga alone. Maybe the anime does take it down, even though the more recent anime stuff has become much better. Ash finally became a competent trainer after 20 years. But, I mean, I'm fine with the A tier. That's actually higher than I saw it on a lot of lists because I looked up a bunch of lists. But that's a cool spot for me. I would put it S tier personally when I include the manga.
I'm going to keep it in A because it's a half.
It's fine. Between but yeah, 2-1.
Yep. So Casher and Sins, I mixed up my ages. I only saw like 2 episodes of this, so I can't really talk about it too much. It is beautiful. I will say that. And I think that's one of the things that you love about it, Alex. Joe, have you seen any of this?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So Alex, you can go on about what you want to say about Casher because
it's my bias.
It's your baby.
It's my favorite anime. It's beautiful. It's a dark dystopian setting with a robotic humanoid that's like an amazing weapon. It's very similar in terms of kind of what Trigun is. is more of a dystopian dark version, I guess, of Trigun in a way. Casher and Sins comes based off of another anime, old campy anime called Cassin. And this is kind of like a reboot of it, a dark reboot. I just love it. The visuals are beautiful. The fighting is my favorite fighting I've ever seen to this day. Maybe Demon Slayer now competes with it. But up to Demon Slayer, this is the most beautiful visual fights I've ever seen. The characters, it's not long. I think it's 20 something episodes, and it's so well developed. You kind of understand and know everybody by the end of it quickly. It's amazing. Again, I only found out about it because I had the Funimation channel in college, and I'm a fucking nerd. And if I wasn't going out, I was watching anime stuff. But nobody knows about it. It's one of those types of things. Like, I only know about it. I told people to watch it. It never latched on. I'd love to put it in A tier. I'd put it in S tier personally. Love to put it in A tier. I got to follow my own rules. It's got to be a B tier.
Oh, okay.
I got to put it in B because nobody knows about it. I love it.
Fine.
It's beautiful.
I mean, if you truly think it's an S tier, I'm definitely, anytime somebody says it's only like 24, 26 episodes, those are like the GOAT animes. So
I'll tell you this.
I'm definitely going to watch it after.
I'll tell you this. It's one of the times where after buying DVDs was popular, I made sure I got this on DVD copy to make sure I will forever have this anime.
Listen, we gave Joe his rankings with the movies he watched, so I'll give you whatever ranking.
But the movies are popular. This
That's
is
fine.
not.
It doesn't matter.
I got to go off my own rules.
But it's quality. I don't care about your rules.
If that's your rules, I'll let you go.
I'll go off my own rules.
All right.
It's B tier for me in terms of everything.
Anime, it's not that good.
And everything.
Well, it is good, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if it's everything you talked it up, it sounds like it should be S tier.
Here's the deal. Tell me what it is after you watch it.
Okay. Get an update next week. I'll run through it.
Word.
Next, we have Tokyo Revengers. I don't know if anyone else
never have seen it,
read any of this, but
I started it. I started watching it.
Joe, you start. Okay. So Tokyo Revengers, I think is at least pretty damn good to start off. It gets a little convoluted in the middle. I don't think it's finished yet, if I remember correctly. It might have finished recently, but I just haven't caught up to what it updated to. I got pretty far though. So Tokyo Revengers overall is pretty damn good. I'm going to give it a B tier, mainly because it starts getting a little slow. And for me, it just doesn't keep up to what it started as. But I mean, it's not some high octane action. There is a good amount of action at points, but a lot of it is really figuring out how to solve a way to keep everyone alive. Yeah. That's the story of it. Going into the past to figure out how to keep people alive. And it's pretty damn good at it. Overall, I'm going to give it a B. Next is Toradora. I might just run through that because I don't think you guys know that either. But that was in top 100 of my anime list. So I wanted to add it in because I know of it. Do you guys know of it at all?
Nope.
No, not at all.
Toradora is the rom-com. It is very cute. Overall, I would give it an A. I think it's one of the earlier ones. I think it's pretty damn good. It has a lot of tropes in it, but I think it just works out well, at least for me, from when I read it. And
David has surpassed me.
100%. There's more that I could have. There's so many more I could have added to this, but it'd take forever. Next is The Rising of the Shield Hero. Yet again,
I can't speak to.
Okay, Joe.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
The Rising of the Shield Hero.
No, I've heard of it.
You've heard, okay. So
David's
another one
exposing his weakness. This is what this
another
episode
one
is
you
for.
guys 100% should watch. I actually read it before it became an anime. Didn't think it was going to become an anime. Anime wise, I have heard it fell off a little bit. Manga wise, I enjoyed the hell out of it, but I'll give it a B because I have heard it fell off a little bit. I think it's really, really good. It's one of the isekai animes that I feel like holds up pretty well in the story. I'm not going to go too far in depth about what it entails, but basically he is an outcast because he holds a shield. He holds a grudge against the world, but he's able to see the positivity because of the people he ends up helping. Next, Mob Psycho 100. Alex, you can start with this one because I know you love Mob Psycho.
It's S tier. It is S tier. Everything about it, including I have not watched the anime, but everything I've seen about the anime, every list I've seen it said this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The creator one is more well known for creating One Punch Man. This is his best work. One Punch Man's amazing because it's a gag. And Mob Psycho is also kind of a gag manga, but when it gets
off more,
it starts off more, and then when it gets serious, there's no doubt in my mind this is an S tier, and I think it's going to go down as one of the best anime manga in the history of anime manga. Honestly,
The fight scenes are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you hit the nail on the head, Ali. I gotta put that at S tier.
Okay. I didn't know if you've seen it yet. Okay, good. It's a
Now,
good
Dave,
thing.
did I read Mob Psycho first, or did you read this one?
I don't remember. No, I think you did.
I think I did because I found that it was written by one, and I'm like, yes, anything written by one, I will give a try.
Mm-hmm. So next we have Spy Family, something that we talked about last week, Joe. Joe, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to start on it starting tomorrow. I just finished catching up on Black Clover. Tomorrow I start Spy Family.
We don't got to talk about it. It's an S tier. It's not even close. Like if there's an S++, put it there. Just put it on top of the entire list.
It's just win. It wins.
It's really the best. It's competing with The Boys for, I think, what is the best show out right now.
Oh
yeah. I mean, I love Spy Family, so I'm not going to argue. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum last week, so we didn't need to talk about it more. Next, we have Vinland Saga. Alex, you can start on that.
S tier. S tier for the sole fact that what it morphs into, it's very rare that you can see something that morphs from one genre to a completely, totally different one, maintain the spirit and the substance of it, and also get better. You start off reading something that you think is going to be kind of similar to a lot of things you read. There's a lot of action,
which is
just a ton of action in the beginning, a ton of, a young protagonist trying to find his way, a kind of a prodigy. And then it morphs into just this gorgeous, beautiful manga. And the anime, I haven't watched it. I was gonna start watching it, and I was downstairs with my two daughters. And the first scene, they're on the boat, and one guy gets his head hacked in. And my older daughter looks at me and goes, "Did he die?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he sure did. I'm not watching it." I never got a chance to go back and watch it. Like that's like the first scene. A guy gets his head hacked in on a boat. So
it is.
But Vinland's an S tier.
The anime is so beautiful. And it has one of the greatest OPs in, I think, anime history. Survive said the Prophet actually went nuts. That is a fucking cock slap, dude. That shit is, dude. I maxed out to that song. I don't know a word they are saying, but if that didn't help me get that 225 up, I don't know what would have.
Listen to that humble brag there.
Also, I love the relationship between Thorfinn and Askeladd. I just love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not going to give away too much. If you haven't read Vinland yet, that is or seen Vinland, either one. It's a must watch, must read. It is that where if you haven't done it, you need to do it.
Season 2, it's on. If you have Amazon Prime, you get it for free. The episodes are actually almost an hour long. I think they're 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And part 2 or season 2 comes out. Well, yeah, the first season is just the prologue, and then we're gonna get Farming Simulator in the next one, and I'm excited for it.
Another great thing about Vinland that I have to say, if you're an anime fan trying to hook another person that's not an anime fan, and they just like action, this could be the one, because it is a very Western style anime. Yes. It's not your super Asian.
About Vikings.
It's based off Vikings. It's a European based type of anime. So this is one you can introduce them into anime and they would probably be hooked from it. So
and it's like historically accurate.
Yeah, there's actually Vinland sagas that were written, and Leif Erikson's in this show and things like that. It's fairly, again, they take liberties because they have to do things, but yes, Thorfinn's a real person, his settlement's a real person, what he did, Thorkill's real, Askeladd's real, they're all real people that happened in history, so which is cool.
I don't have much more to say about it. You guys basically said it all. I'll agree with S tier though.
You're welcome.
100%. Next, fun one. Promise Neverland.
Get it out. Shadow Realm.
If we are to go off season 1,
S tier.
Not even close. It's
what about the manga?
You can't watch season 1 without wanting to know what happens in season 2.
Exactly. So I did not read it.
To the Shadow Realm. Don't even put it in D tier.
Because we didn't read it. Joe, I don't know if you read it at all.
No, not at all. And I don't care to.
Right, because we didn't read it, I can't put it any farther than C.
No.
I think season 1 does enough to give it a C.
So, Dave, we're going to run into this problem with another show. I think we all know what show we're talking about. We're going to run into another problem where the first
Tokyo
season's
Ghoul.
amazing. No, not Tokyo Ghoul. We'll talk about it when we get to it. We'll know about it.
Actually, I don't have that on here, but we can talk about it.
Tokyo Ghoul. I never seen that, but I think you have it on here. I'll just bring it up. Sword Art Online. Do you have that on here?
I believe I see it. Did I?
No,
think
but
that falls into
the
same
thing
problem
about
where
Sword Art, no. But the thing about Sword Art is you could stop at season 1 and be
Yes.
fine with it. You know, you're not.
It's more or less an ending.
Yes. But I'll just say that it's kind of a similar sense where it's a first season. The Sword Art Online won anime of the year, deservedly its first season. It was unbelievably fun. It got terrible at second season, even worse towards the end, their OVAs and everything about it. The best part about Sword Art Online became Lisa continually singing the intros. But outside of that, it sucked. I read the beginning of Promised Neverland. I have never seen the anime. So I read basically first season plus. It's good. It's good. And apparently they fuck it up. So I have to go with you guys. We'll keep it at C if they did so bad on the. I can't forgive studios for sucking. What's next, Dave?
Next is My Hero.
A tier, solid A for me.
That's what I was going to go with as well. What do you
A
think,
tier based off of it could have been B tier.
Yes.
But Dark Deku puts it in A tier for me. If you got the Dark Deku at all, to the point, I don't know if the anime is up to Dark Deku.
No,
the
not at all.
manga has Dark Deku. When I'm telling you, when it gets to that point, people are going to consider it S tier. That's how good Dark Deku was at a point in the manga where people were like, we're getting tired of how this is kind of not progressing. And it was in the middle phase before the Second Great War that they're coming up to. So there was always going to be a lull. They throw Dark Deku into there, and the Dark Deku chunk right there is S plus tier. It's Omega tier. That's how good Dark Deku is. I put it solid A for Dark Deku solely, carrying the rest of it, and it's gotten back to being good. The newer stuff has been really good.
I'm basing my opinion strictly off the anime. I'm not completely caught up. I've watched up to season 5. The first 2 or 3 seasons I say were gas. And then season 4 comes and there's just this lull with Gentle Criminal and it just basically falls into school event, terrorist attack, school event, villain attack. And then I'm getting tired of the training arcs, like them going through trainings together and just doing stupid drills, fighting one another. It's kind of the same thing. And that's how season 5 starts off. They lost me. I heard it gets better. I will eventually get back into it.
Keep going.
But, oh yeah, I know.
Promise you, keep going.
I understand that. And I know it's going to get better, which is why I'm going to watch it. But just based off of what I've seen and what I've experienced, I got to give it a B tier.
Understandable.
Yeah, I was going to give it A tier because of what Alex said. It gets better.
Yeah. Dark Deku is one of the best, one of the best things in recent manga. It really is. Dark Deku is so much fun.
Next, we have another one that you guys probably haven't actually read or watched. Shokugeki no Soma. This is the food anime, if people know it. This is that one anime that you actually can't show to a person that's never watched anime before.
Is this Food Wars?
Yes, Food Wars.
I've watched part. Yeah, you cannot watch this.
You cannot watch it in public.
No.
I forgot about that because I've now read all of Food Wars. I think it's pretty damn good.
Did you hear the foodgasms while you were reading it? Did you hear it in your head?
That's the thing. When you're reading, you can just kind of just scroll right through them. It's like, it's happening again. Fast. You just go. So I'm showing a friend. I'm like, oh, this anime is probably really cool. Like, I really like the manga. Like, it's a lot of fun, and the food looks awesome, and they're preparing stuff. And for some reason, it just works. So I'm showing him, and in the first episode, both that very voluptuous woman and the large men all tear their clothes at a foodgasm, and it's just like, I can't show anyone anything ever again. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Because I don't think it's incredible. In fact, I think it lags on a little bit too much. The final arc, I don't think was needed at all. But overall, I think it's a lot of fun if you're fine with just basically skipping on past a foodgasm.
Yeah, I'd actually give it C because of trauma. You turn it on, you accidentally have your volume maxed out. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and now you just gotta blast football highlights so people don't think you're doing something wrong in your room.
No, you turn on like actual porn. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't feel
it's
dirty.
probably better.
You didn't feel like you watched hentai for a little bit, you weirdo. Food hentai.
All right. So next is One Piece. Now, I have a fun story with One Piece because I actually love One Piece.
Mhm.
I got 500 something chapters in, and then I lost all progress. All of my progress. Do not remember where I was. And I haven't gone back since because I'm still depressed about it. But
You
to
have
where
to
I
binge
was,
One Piece. Like you have to just
Exactly.
binge it.
but to where I was, I really loved One Piece. Like One Piece is damn good. I don't know where it's at right now, but from everything that I read, I'd probably give it an S tier.
Oh yeah, I just started it, so like I'm starting that 1,000 episode grind, and that's gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be rough. I'm having a lot of fun with it already. Just based off of what I'm seeing, like because I follow like a bunch of anime pages, and One Piece is constantly the number one.
Well, the thing about One Piece, and I got like 600 chapters in, lost it like you did at one point, said, fuck this, stopped reading, and got to a point where I had to and I was like, I'm just going to restart it. Now I'm up to like 250 something. And I kind of put it on hiatus again. I'm going to go back to it because you're dedicated to One Piece. The thing about One Piece that's good though is it never lags. There is no lull in One Piece. You're never getting a shitty arc. You're never getting wasted. The character building's good. Even the useless characters are fun. And it's One Piece is an S tier. It's an absolute S tier. It has everything you want in a shonen. It has the the friendship. It has the fan service. That's a part of shonen, whether people like it or not. Has a ton of fan service. It has good action. It has transformations. It has pushing
One Piece
past.
added fan service.
It did.
Nami did not have that much of fan service in the first parts of One Piece.
Well, I mean, it did not. But then they brought, bringing in Robin and all that other stuff.
They just. Yeah, if Oda likes boobs, that's fine. It's whatever.
There's nothing wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Boobs. It's his thing.
Exactly.
So, no,
if you like boobs, whatever.
Influence and everything. And we just had the debate today in the group. And I let people know Overdrive Luffy is one of the strong. It's one of the most OP characters in all of anime and manga. It is right up there with Goku, Vegeta, Gojo, and I'll say to everyone, Gojo's technique is probably one of the strongest things ever. But Overdrive is incredible. And that's like you got to get to like 900 chapters in, 800 chapters in to get to Overdrive.
I was going to say
it's a dedication.
That's pretty close to where they are in the anime right now, I think.
Yeah.
And
go look up some pictures of Luffy Gear 3 Overdrive.
Yeah, he's freaking yoked. The big,
And they're fighting Mother right now.
But currently, the dub, terrifying. Actually, look up the dub when he first turns into it, because it's really bad. It's
the dub is bad. The dub is really not good.
Bad, yeah.
I'm not a dubby versus subby. Like if there's a good dub, I'll watch it. Like, there's some really good dubs and it's worth it. And that's fine. I don't care. But One Piece has never had a good dub. I don't think they've ever had a good dub. They've always sucked. It started off with 4 kids being terrible, and then it just never got better. Like it got a little better, but it's like it's not good. Like you watch One Piece sub, do you read it? There's no other way to watch One Piece. All right, let's keep going. We don't want to linger on. We're gonna have like a 2-hour episode, but it's worth it. Let's do
Next, we have another one. I don't think you guys have seen. Noragami.
I always wanted to watch Noragami, but I just never read it. I just never had the chance to. Everything to put in front of it.
No, I haven't.
Noragami's pretty damn good. I haven't read it for a while because I think I caught all the way up, and then this is what happens with me with all manga. I just catch up, and then I never update myself, and I just wait until it gets way too big. But Noragami is pretty damn good. Overall, I'm going to give it a B tier.
Okay. Fair.
Next, another one that you guys may not have watched or read, but I will forever tell people weeb to watch or read it because it is actually one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and that is Konosuba.
I was going to start that.
I've seen parts of Konosuba.
Yet again, just like with Food Wars, I forgot how perverted Konosuba can be.
Oh, that's no, it is hilarious. This sub, I actually have a part of it saved on my phone. And there's one person's like, "You want me to suck it out?" And the guy goes, "Absolutely."
Yes. Yes.
No, dead serious. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Konosuba is hilarious. I even put for my
funny.
nickname, yes, I'm Kazuma, because it's a thing that's a running gag. I'm going to put it in S tier. I don't care what you say.
No,
I agree based on
what
I saw.
That's simple.
That's fine.
Next, we have Kuroko no Basket. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It is a basketball manga anime. I did
I've
not
seen
put
some
Slam
episodes.
Dunk in, but
It's really good.
I give it A.
A tier.
yeah.
Solid A.
Hey, all right.
I don't think there's much to say. It's a basketball anime. And the fun thing is, what I love when it comes to sports animes, whenever things happen in real sports and then the anime already did it, I love when people put it side by side. I think Sports Center, when there was like a crazy triple play that happened, was like, we've seen this before. And they actually played like the sub version. And people were like weird about it because it was Sports Center. But it was like the same exact like undoable triple play. It was pretty cool.
All right. Next, we have Trigun. Alex, you can go ahead on Trigun. I know how much you love Trigun.
Trigun's one of my favorite anime of all time. It's short and sweet. It got, the anime and manga are both short and sweet. They have a second manga with Trigun Maximum. To put what they were able to put into 20 episodes and tell a full story like they did about Vasha Stampede in the first one. It's so good. They're coming back with the Trigun Maximum anime. I don't think it's called Trigun Maximum. The art style looks different. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I have to watch it. But if they continue with the story from Maximum, it's going to be good. I put it in a solid A tier. I think it's a extremely good anime and manga. The manga sometimes can get a little confusing with the way the artwork is and the way the writing is at times. So that hurts it a little bit to me. But it's beautiful. It's great. If you want a quick, enjoyable, fun anime to watch, you can binge through Trigun in 3 days. Trigun to me is an A.
Joe, have you seen any of Trigun?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm gonna go with A as well. I just think it's pretty damn good. I don't think
so much
it's
fun.
I don't think it's S tier, but it's again, so much fun. Next, we have Sket Dance. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you guys have not, just let me know.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Run through it quick with Dave. Do what you got to do.
All right, I'm gonna give that. Overall, I'm gonna give it a C, even though I like it a lot. I'm still going to give it a C because it is just mainly a gag manga. It's a slice of life / gag manga. And I think it's fun.
I've seen a lot of good things about Sket Dance. I've seen a lot of
anime. Yeah.
positive.
It was up on my anime list. I'm going to give it a C, but it definitely could be a B. Next, we have Kill la Kill. Now, I know I've seen Kill la Kill. Alex, if I remember correctly, you've seen Kill la Kill.
Parts of it. I've seen a few episodes. Transformations. That's all I got to say about Kill la Kill.
yeah, but Joe, have you seen Kill la Kill?
I started it. I'll finish it, but there's a long list I have.
I'll say
It's
this.
good. It's fun. There's a lot of action.
To me, it's a B tier anime, A tier fight scenes. So it's
I was going to give it an A tier for the fight scene.
The fight scenes probably put it into A tier because the fight scenes, go look up best fight scenes in anime history and you'll get 2 of them from Kill la Kill. They are just that good and they're beautifully made and animated. And you're not noticing that they're in thongs and like things that just cover nipples fighting each other. It's that, like, it really is that good though. Dave, you agree?
Yeah, I give 100%.
I would give it a C tier, but the fight scenes are amazing.
You got to watch more of it though, because the story does get better.
I know.
It gets better from the beginning.
All right. Next is Rurouni Kenshin.
That's an S tier to me, and it's a no brainer. It's one of my favorite anime of all time. And
Joe, have you ever seen Kenshin?
I have not.
Oh, Joe, you need to see Kenshin.
It's another one of those. The music to me might be one of the best parts. The fight scenes are gorgeous.
How long is it?
Kenshin was it 6 volumes in the DVDs? It's it has something. I think it has like 80 episodes, maybe something like that. It's an S tier to me.
I'll put it on the list.
It's one of the quintessential samurai shonen you will ever see. Just watching Kenshin go from he's a goofy, kooky, typical peace-loving kind of shonen protagonist, and when he comes into Batosai to Manslayer, he's one of the most terrifying individuals you will ever see on a page. And to me, this is one of the rare ones. This kind of falls into the Demon Slayer realm where the anime is gorgeous and it's fun. The manga is gorgeous and it's fun. When you watch the anime with the music setting, it puts the Edo period in perfect. To me, I love Rurouni Kenshin's artwork as much as its anime.
I'm going to go with you with S tier because I enjoyed it. Even though I have not watched and read as much as you have, I enjoyed the hell out of Rurouni Kenshin.
I watched that thing front to back 3 times. That's how much I enjoy it.
Next, we have One Punch Man. I am going to ask that you guys carry this conversation because I have to take a quick break. But One Punch Man, I know you guys can talk about it a little bit. So,
go ahead, Joe. You start.
Season 1, S tier. Season 2, the animators decided. Well, season 1 they had the freaking Avengers squad assembled to do the animation. Season 2 was carried by the story. They had great source material. Season 2 actually lacked, I think it brings it down drastically, but the story is always amazing. I give it in between C and B.
I'm probably putting it at A tier.
The
manga is amazing. The manga never stops. And the thing is, fun thing about the manga is you can read 2 simultaneous manga together. So the original creator 1 does the worst fucking sketches of all time. And it started off with just terrible sketch web manga, and it got picked up. And essentially it got picked up, and in the spirit of what 1 draws, they rewrite it and they remake it and make it look nice. To me, I put it as an A tier because I did hear the anime fell off in season 2 in terms of the animation. Yeah. The story's amazing. The story's fun. Yeah. It starts off as gag and it always maintains gag. But like outside of Saitama just one punching everything, there's really good fight scenes from all the other heroes and villains.
Oh, yeah.
It's lots of fun. It's hilarious at times. You'll see memes with Saitama everywhere. And on top of that, Jam Project's opening for season 1, The Hero, which has the legendary Hironobu Kageyama, famous for singing Dragon Ball themes. It rocks. You can sit there, you can punch a rock and break it if you listen to The Hero for the first time. So I put it as a solid A tier. Dave, what do you feel about One Punch?
I was going to say A tier as well. I do not know what Joe said, but
Joe said season 1 animation story great. Season 2 story still good. Animation fell off. They got drunk.
I've heard that, but yeah, overall I'm going to go A tier as well. So we'll throw that in there.
Yep.
Next we have Overlord. I'm hoping you guys have either read or watched any of that.
None.
No, Joe?
No.
Unfortunate. Overlord, I'm going to give a B tier. I think it's pretty good. It's another isekai anime that I ended up watching. Season 3 is a little bit of a downturn, but I think season 1 and 2 are pretty good.
I did hear good things about it, though.
Season 4 is actually just starting. I have not watched episode 1 yet.
I've heard the OPs are really good for Overlord too. If you're into OPs,
both the OPs and the closings are.
I heard if you're into that, which a lot of us are, a lot of anime fans are into OPs.
I've showed Joe one of them and he enjoyed it.
You showed me one of them too. I think you showed me season 2.
Probably. Anyway, next we have the Disastrous Life of Saiki Kusuo. Hopefully you guys have seen that as well.
I've only read a little bit because you told me to. I couldn't get into it. I'd put it into C. I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people love it, so my opinion might be skewed. I put it into the C realm.
Joe, have you seen it at all?
I haven't seen it, but I've started. It was in my recommendations for Viz because I guess I was reading.
If you read Mob Psycho, they recommend Psyche.
Yeah, I was reading Mob Psycho and also One Punch Man. So they put it. I dropped it. I'd give it C.
I couldn't get into it either.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. I mean, I enjoyed the hell of it, but
I know you did. You recommended it to me.
Rule. Yeah. Next, we have Kingdom. Now, Alex and I can talk a lot about Kingdom, but I'm just going to give my grade on it. I am going to say A.
Joe, have you seen Kingdom or read Kingdom at all?
I have not.
So, Kingdom is a tough one to do because in terms of the manga, it's probably S tier. But with the experiment that they tried to do with the anime, made it awful. I could drop it down to B, but I'll join you with A, Dave. The manga is long. It's historically based off of the unification of China. It's really cool. If you're into that historical type of anime manga stuff, it's great. Fights are cool. It's all military, army based. Really fun. A is a good spot for it because the anime kind of fucked up its ability to be an S.
Yeah. No, that's very fair. I also think sometimes it can get a little too wordy, especially in the manga. You have to read a lot. So,
I mean, the
a lot of people might be
expressions
turned off
on all the lackeys make it better, though, because the
That is true.
expressions are always hilarious.
That is true. Next, we're going to go to the Monogatari series. I don't think you guys have seen this at all. I'm just going to place it in B. I think it's fun, but it's almost like the Fate series where it can be very confusing where you have to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
in that
Fate
series.
lost me.
So
Similar to
Next.
Gundam. Gundam can lose you too. It's so much.
exactly. Next, we have That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Honestly, a lot of this is me promoting.
It's-
Yeah, I was
If you
gonna
haven't-
say,
This
I
is
was-
your list.
I was
Yeah.
recommended this by one
Yeah.
of my friends, Javon, and he
It's
said,
good.
I just can't get, I don't know. It's one of those.
I've seen it everywhere, and it's been around for a little while now. It's been good. I've seen a lot of people like it.
I'm going to put that as B as well. It's not the most amazing thing, but I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a good watch. Next, we have Steins Gate, which I have not seen or read. I know Joe has, though.
I have not really.
Yes.
I've seen some things with it. Joe, this is your floor.
Just real fast, it's a time travel kind of anime. I give it an A tier. The story is very good, but it also falls into a lot of tropes that I didn't like. Just well, I think a lot of this has me waiting on the conclusion. I'm very close. I have like 3 or 4 episodes left, so depending on how it closes, I might move it to S tier. But right now, it's just looking like a big fat friendship punch. So we'll see.
Go for it.
Understandable. Next, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'm going to say S tier.
Joe, you can go because I think didn't you have some criticism of FMA?
I did. The fight scenes are awesome. The story's all right. I give it an A tier. And I'm always surprised about how popular this is.
I mean, it was ambitious. They really never talked about alchemy. Manga and anime don't talk about alchemy. That's not a big topic, and the way that they used it, where when you first go into Full Metal Alchemist, you're thinking the big metal guy's the protagonist. And then all of a sudden it's Edward. It's the little guy with the metal arm. And he's really the one that can do things. And he's everything that a shonen protagonist is, but he's not at the same time.
Yeah.
And
that's what I like about it.
And Mustang is one of the coolest side characters in the history of anime. I love Mustang. So he's awesome. They have a lot of cool side characters that don't get enough credit because you only focus on what's up.
Terrible Day for Rain.
Terrible Day for Rain. And also,
it did slap.
One of the saddest scenes in the history. One of the saddest scenes in the history of anime manga are there, and it still scarred me forever. So yes, S tier.
Yeah. I totally forgot about those. It did.
The memes are infinite. If that came out in 2014, 2015, the memes would be infinite with that show.
I mean, this is just Brotherhood. This isn't the original anime.
Yeah.
The original doesn't deserve a place.
Yeah. So
Brotherhood.
I have to switch to S tier. I'm gonna stand firm on A tier, but
we kind of
That's
swayed
fine.
with all of our
That's
memes
fine.
here.
I forgot how much that shit slapped, dude. I finished it in like 4 days.
next we have Inuyasha, which I have only watched like so many episodes of Inuyasha, so I can't say much. I'd probably give it a B tier overall, but that's just off of what I've seen.
Joe, have you ever watched any?
I've watched it as a little kid, Toonami. Never really gripped me as much as Naruto did when I was a kid, so probably C.
Inuyasha is kind of like a shoujo, but it's like a shoujo that's okay for boys to watch. It's weird.
Uh-huh.
The attacks are kind of boring in a little bit. Now that you go back and watch it, as a kid, it was kind of cool. Now it's the same attack over and over again. It's a love story. It's a legitimate love story with some action and a demon, and it's not a bad story. Again, it's another situation where the manga is better, but I would agree. I'll put Inuyasha with the C there.
All right, cool. Sounds good to me. Next, we have Black Clover, something that you just finished, Alex.
S
I'm
tier.
gonna get my tier out of the way. Well, I was going to say A, but you're saying S. That's fine.
Yeah.
David,
Joe,
are
what do
you
you
caught
think?
up on the manga?
I was caught up for a while. I have not
So,
caught back up again.
If we go based
I've
off
heard-
of the latest issue, it's getting the S tier. I have to give it an A tier because the anime got canceled and they're trying to bring it back. The movie might slap. Let's see if it's canon. But I gotta put it at A tier just for now and see what they do with this final arc.
The only reason I put it at S tier is it's the shonen tropes. It's the same gay friendship making you stronger without it being gay. If that's the kind of the best way I can put it, like it's not the lame do ex machina. Like I need to get, it is the I need to get stronger, so I'm going to get stronger. But it is so much cooler than that. It's a weird, it is cool.
It's the work ethic of Asta that I think is very inspiring. Like there's a quote that I read, and it's like, it's basically along the lines, our worlds may be different, but the premise is the same, hard work, get after it, and you could achieve whatever you want.
And I want to say this on top of that, the thing is you have Yami Sekihiro, who's the captain of Asta's squad, but he's kind of in a similar sense where he's like that leader father type figure that you see in like Naruto and you see in all those type of shonens, but he does things, and it's not until the end of the fucking show that he does things. You don't have to wait to see Yami Sekihiro's power.
I don't want to spoil it.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. But I'm just going to say you're going to see Yami doing a lot all the time.
Alex, there's going to be one part. Asta's laying on the ground and Yami says something to him. Yep. And that got me so
and that's the thing that sets it apart. People love
the chill factor.
Yeah, people love like these dark, silent dad types that eventually you get to see how cool they are. And it's like, no, from the get-go, the moment after when like arc after you meet Yami, he's fighting and you get to see how OP he is. And it's cool and it's different. And they're another one that, similar to another one we're going to talk about with JJK, they don't hide when characters are strong. They don't give a fuck if you know that they're overpowered and they're stronger than everybody. They just let it be. So it's a fun world. I like to put it in S. You guys put it in A, so that's fun.
And has some of the best quotes I've ever read in a manga.
It does. It does. Certainly does.
I post them on my story all the time. And like the anime is just going to make you flex. Like, bro.
So Joe's talking all about this and he gave it an A.
I gave it an A, yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nobody fucking dies.
Let's keep going.
How about you kill some people, huh?
Next, we have Dr. Stone. I know I have read a good amount of it, but I'm not all the way caught up. Too. Okay. Joe, have you?
I've read a solid amount, and I've watched some like the highlights of the anime. Season 1 really good. Season 2 anime wise pacing, everything's kind of falls into the same trap that the Weathering with You fell into. They present a problem, it's fixed in 5 minutes, and it's like 2 episodes ago we were struggling to create fire or whatever, and now there's an assault weapon and a tank, and the pacing is just kind of fucked.
I agree with Joe on that it's great, it's fun, it's a lot of fun, and it's cool. It's an ambitious kind of shonen, because it's a shonen, but it's a shonen in such a weird way. Yeah. But it does kind of fall into the problem. Super genius figures out way to manipulate others to solve problem, or super genius figures it out in.
It's very repetitive too, in the anime wise. I haven't gotten that far in the manga, but
the manga's good and the story's fun. There is some wordiness to it. I would put it in a B tier.
Me too.
Okay,
Joe.
I'd give it I'm just going to stray from the pack. I'd give it a C, but put it in B.
Just being a dickhead.
All right. Next, we have... Now, I don't know if you guys want to do the full Dragon Ball series altogether or just Dragon Ball Z. My picture is of Dragon Ball Z. But we could talk about either the full franchise or just Z. You decide, Alex.
Let's go into full franchise, and we won't include GT because GT is its own entity. GT is not canon. So I'm not going to include it because it's its own entity. I think with fairness to the conversation. If you include GT, it's probably D. If you don't include GT, then we can have a conversation. Me and Joe might go at it. This is one of my favorite anime of all time. It's a lot of people's one of theirs because it's an introduction anime. This is how I really got introduced in big time into anime. I love everything about it. For the most part, I thought, it went from the adventure, it went to science. Yeah, they had some down arcs, but I think they've come back with Super. The last movie, David and I talked about Gohan. We both saw it, or the superhero. I talked about legacy being a factor. If this isn't an S tier off of legacy alone, then nothing else should be. So I'm putting Dragon Ball at the S tier.
Just Dragon Ball Z, I give it a C tier. Legacy included the entire series. I'll level with you and I'll give it an A. I like it. I like the fights. I like Vegeta. I think Vegeta is one of the greatest characters in anime history. My first screen name ever was Vegeta319 at AOL.com. So, yeah.
Dave, where you at? You're the tiebreaker.
So, since I'm not really including Legacy in my rankings, I'm going to go with A. But if you were to include Team 4-Star along with it,
Oh, then it's legendary. It's
It is
if I'm not including GT, then I can't include Team 4-Star, unfortunately.
No, exactly.
And if you include GT with Team 4-Star, it levels back out to an A. So
that is part of my stipulation.
I can give it an A.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it does enough, like damn good story wise and stuff like that to give it an S. But I mean, I have bias here because I love it so much. But I think it does enough with how just cool and epic it really is for a lot of the time that I could give it an A.
The interesting part about Dragon Ball is Toriyama started off his career with Dr. Slump and kind of being a gag anime writer. And he never intended for Dragon Ball to get into some science fiction fantasy crazy fucking thing it went to. And he's always at his best when he brings it back to the gaggish style, the goofy gaggish style. Like, yes, it's known for Frieza and the androids and things like that. But Dave, we just talked about superhero. One of our favorite things about superheroes, it felt more like Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. So it was cool. You know, I'm okay with giving it an A. Joe, I feel like Joe was about to give it a D, and I was going to fight him. So
no, I'm not. I love Dragon Ball growing up. Like, I can't give it a D.
So next we have Horimiya. It's another rom-com. It was on the My Anime list, and I have read it. Plus, I've watched a good amount of it. I don't know if you guys have.
Never. David, you're just cute.
I know, right? Overall, I'm going to give it a C, even though I think it's pretty good. But it can get a little annoying at times.
We've been really nice. We haven't get any of them a D.
I think they should. Digimon suck.
We might just throw it down there. Just
put Digimon in D just because we need a D. Put Digimon down there, baby. There we go. Fuck you, Digimon.
Fuck that. Fucking sucked.
All right, let's keep going.
Video games
are so mad.
Next, we have one that was just recommended by Crunchyroll because it was new. Hinamatsuri. I actually think this is pretty damn good. I'm going to give it a B. I don't know if you guys have seen any of it.
Nope.
It's just a slice of life about like a low-level Yakuza member having to deal with this random small child that appears in his apartment that has powers. It's a good time. At least I think it is. And it only has one season. It only has 12 episodes. I recommend it if you just want something just to chill with. Next, you guys can argue, even though I've read.
Give your opinion first.
But you guys can argue.
You have yours, and me and Joe can go
Yu Yu Hakusho.
David, you can go first. Give your opinion first.
Overall, I enjoyed Yu Yu Hakusho. I enjoyed a good amount of it. From what because not that recently that I read it, but from what I can remember, I would give it a B tier because I enjoy the fighting. I enjoy a lot of things in it. It's just a part of it was just a little rushed. But I mean, wait, Joe. But I think the character wise, I think it's really good. You remember not only looks at these characters, but how they interact with each other. So that's what at least puts it at a good tier for me. So, and I think B is a pretty good tier.
Joe, do you want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go because David, I agree 100%. I do think it's a B tier anime. Dark Tournament slapped. Even though season 4 was basically season 2. And you know, we're going to get into a little bit of spoilers. It's 80 years old, so if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, it's spoiling Yu Yu Hakusho doesn't count.
If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho yet, then fuck you. That's honestly where we are here.
Basically, season 4 is season 2, except what's his face gets knocked out, and then he wakes up and they just say who won. That's so stupid. The author, the artist wanted to move on to Hunter x Hunter, which I could see why, because that's an S tier. But jeez Louise, dude, the ending is just so bad, and season 4 is very repetitive and similar to season 2, which season 2 slapped. Yeah, I got to give it a B tier. It's got some of the best fights in anime history, though. You always see that in the highlights.
Up until they get into the demon realm to go fight the demons in hell, basically. It is an S tier anime and manga up until that point. It was rushed at the end because he was being forced to finish it. They were telling him, you need to wrap this up. And he was saying, eat a dick. And then they told him to wrap it up. So he said, okay, I'll wrap it up. And he quite literally, out of nowhere, made Yusuke become a giant fucking crazy demon, win, And you see thing in the manga, you see the demon transformation, you see him fuck up everybody, and you watch. At least you get you get the enjoyment of a good fight in the end in the manga. In the anime, they quite literally just say eat a dick. We don't care if you know or if you don't. Hunter x Hunter is being created already. I have to give homage to everything it did before. I got to give it an A. I would give it A tier off of that, but I understand the B tier ranking, especially with the way the manga and both, the anime ended so abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't blame him. He was being forced to do shit he didn't want to do. So he's like, eat a fat one, Chicho. I'm doing what I want.
Yeah, fuck this fan base.
So I like, it wasn't his fault. He was being told he had to finish it. So he was like, you want me to finish it? I'll finish it. And that's the end of it. So I put it in A. I'm okay with the B and B, though.
Next is Berserk. I'm putting it in an S tier. You can argue with whoever else you want.
There's no argument.
The manga slaps.
Yeah. So,
the animes don't count. They've tried the animes. You cannot animate something that gorgeous. The animes do not count with Berserk.
Yeah, you just can't.
Just the amount of detail they put in the dude's
you can't
body
argue, dude.
is
You
ridiculous.
cannot argue.
All of those anime dragons you ever looked up on AOL or just growing up when you looked up anime dragon don't look as nice as what Miura is able to do. These were artists only focusing on drawing a single fucking dragon. Honestly, Miura and his assistants are some of the most talented individuals ever.
We don't get Dark Souls as a franchise without Berserk. And I know this is a legacy talking point, but it doesn't need to be. Like everything S tier doesn't have to do with legacy. I'm just saying what else it has done. Either way, we'll just move right on.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. I'm going to say A tier because I enjoyed the hell out of it until the end. I thought Attack on Titan would probably be S tier if it had a better ending. But just the whole ride going up to it, I think is really, really good. So I'm going to give it an A tier.
I agree. If AOT has a better ending, it's the best anime of all time. Best manga and anime of all time. If it has a better ending. It got so convoluted and got too big for itself. The mangaka created a way too big world that he could not control and couldn't write and draw correctly. So he ended up just flubbing it weirdly and doing some weird shit. And it just ended up being, I'm not going to say bad, but it just wasn't AOT standard.
No, it got the ending it wanted, and I was okay. I was okay with the ending. I just wish Aaron went through and tried more. I don't want to spoil anything because the final season part 3 is coming out soon.
I mean, plot armor Titan.
They're really trying to push back how bad this ending is.
The plot armor Titan though might actually make it a B tier.
I give it a B tier personally, but I'm okay with it being an A tier just because of the impact it had on the entire community. The ending, I can't wait to watch the world burn. If it was fleshed out more, if they showed
the beach scene,
Eren not just going nuts, then
actually make it a C tier. The beach scene, make it a fucking C tier. Honestly, one of the dumbest things.
I want to say it. So no, I can't. I'm not.
Actually, make it a D tier. Put it in the fucking D tier.
We're not putting.
Fuck that scene. No,
I'll lower it to B.
That's fine. Lower it to B. That scene actually, I just got pissed off. Put it in B. Fuck AOT. Anyway,
next we have Gundam.
Gundam Wing or the full? I've seen a few of them. I haven't seen the full. Gundam Wing is the one I really watch. So I base it off of Gundam Wing.
Give it a C. Too confusing.
I would give Gundam a B because I like big robots.
See, I gave it an A because I thought the mech fighting scenes were absolutely gorgeous. I thought for the animation quality ability they had at the time, it was probably the most beautiful thing they had going out.
So we're going
those scenes. Yep,
we're going with B for big robot.
B for big robot. They move big O up to big.
No.
Bo. Anyway.
But next we have one I know you guys probably haven't seen, but you may have seen clips from it. Funny enough, it has some fighting animation that's better than a lot of shonen.
Next is season 2.
Next is Kobayashi Dragon Maid. It is a slice of life. It is actually pretty funny. It's about a dragon that is helped by a random woman, and now the dragon decided to become a maid for that woman. It's pretty funny.
Sounds very Japanese.
Exactly. Overall, I'm going to give it a B. And I mean, they give like every single thing in this anime huge tits, which is a problem. But overall, it's pretty funny. So I'm going to give
it. The next one, you know where to put this one.
Demon Slayer.
You know where to put it.
I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
Hi, Alex. You're gonna hate me. I finished the manga. The ending was it was solid. I think they lost me at the ending. It went kind of ape shit. I mean, it slaps. I'd give it a B in the story, but when it comes to how beautiful, it's the most beautiful animation I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And I gotta give it A and a half. I'm not gonna go S tier.
It gets S tier alone on the animation for me. Alone.
I know. And as much as I want to say that, it's just, but the story matters too, and the character development also does matter. And I just feel like a lot of the characters, they all have like their trope, and
There could be nothing but a running track of Weird Al Yankovic yelling "Eat my butthole" with that animation, and it would be S tier. That's how beautiful it is. So to me, it's S tier. Dave, where do you put it?
You're making me be the middleman, because I can definitely see arguments for both. You know what? Because we haven't had the time to fully digest it, I'm going to give it an A.
There you go.
Because it's not a fully digested manga and anime. Especially because season 3 needs to come out.
Should you get in the robot?
To finish the anime. So,
yeah, I was about to say, I'm not even really excited for the Sword Village art. I mean, I'm excited for it, but like after that is when it gets crazy.
They're not even showing her bath scene. How could they? Next, we're going to go on to Jujutsu Kaisen. What do you guys think? I want to hear yours first.
Easy yes. That's my favorite current. I haven't seen Spy Family, so I'm going to put a preface to that. But this is I watched JJK. I think I was hyped for it in the beginning, and I told everyone to watch it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone's been let down. And the manga has just continued to go. And the Cullen game arc right now is so much fucking fun in the manga. Mm-hmm. There is some crazy shit, and you need to go back and reread a few things because there's a lot going on in the Cullen game. But the action never lets up. The animation, the drawing is beautiful. Yeah. Easy S tier. Arguably, it's probably the best shonen currently out. I think it's in terms of story, it might be better in Demon Slayer in terms of story, definitely.
Until Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, listen, it's competition. Chainsaw Man's amazing, but JJK is right there.
Yeah.
So, anyone else have anything about Juju?
Nah, I'll agree.
Just total cock slap. The
music's great.
The movie's solid too.
Next is something that I have actually never read or seen, Code Geass.
Oh, Code Geass, that's S tier.
Yeah. It's one of the most influential.
I mean, I've heard damn good things about it, but I just never.
It was on Toonami for a little bit. I've seen some episodes, and the episodes I've seen made me want to watch more, but I've never gotten around to it. It's great, beautiful looking.
I haven't watched the second part because every solid anime that's good, they just bring everybody back to life and make it bad. But up until where I think in my head canon that it ends, season 2, such a slap.
All right, what do we got next?
Next, we have Bakuman.
I've never seen Bakuman.
Joe, have you?
I feel like I have.
I read it a while ago. It's about two friends making manga together.
No, I haven't. Nope.
Okay. I enjoy the hell out of it. I think it's a B tier, but I could also see it being C tier if someone wanted to argue with me, but no one does.
Not arguing.
Next, we have Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo is S tier to me. It's short. It's sweet. Another anime that has just gorgeous animation the whole time. Lots of fun. Some of the sword scenes are as good as you're ever going to see. Samurai Champloo, the samurai that smells like flowers, smells like roses. That's all you need to know. It's a beautiful, beautiful fucking anime. I put that as S tier.
What do you think, Joe? Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. I just haven't seen enough to make a educated opinion on it.
Yeah, I'd probably go S tier with it. Because, I mean, it's gorgeous. Next, we have JoJo. JoJo's Bizarre
Discord
Adventure.
Is going nuts.
It is mine.
That's yours.
I don't know why
your Discord, Dev. So what do we have next?
Next is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I mean, JoJo's longevity is unbelievable. It's right up there. If you're counting both, it's S tier. If you're just counting, both and just the manga, I think it's S tier. The anime's fun. I don't know. I think you can give it S tier. I think it's a fair S or A to me.
The cultural impact of JoJo, I think, is very important.
Turn off your Discord. It's going so crazy. David's mad. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jojo.
The impact that it's had on our culture as a whole is actually pretty shocking, because a lot of people, they know the memes and stuff that are associated with JoJo and they don't know it's from JoJo, which I think is special. So with that being said, I want to give it an A tier because season 1 was but I'm going to give it an S for the cultural impact.
I'm going to give it an S because I absolutely love JoJo.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I just love JoJo, dude. It's so good. It's so good. I will argue with anyone about how good JoJo is.
JoJo was lots of fun.
Yeah. All right. Next, we're going to move on to which one? Assassination Classroom. I don't know if either of you guys have actually seen it.
I've seen it.
Watched the first episode, and I would say A is right there. I'd put it as an A tier right away.
I mean, I was going to say A tier as someone who's finished it.
I haven't finished it. I was going to say B tier, but
okay. So we're going to throw that into A tier. Next is Cowboy Bebop.
Whew.
A tier. Solid A.
What?
Here we go. I knew as soon as he said A.
What?
Solid A, arguable S. Listen, it has a lot of legacy as the Space Odyssey.
It's an S tier.
It's one of the most influential. I'll say that, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's great. I put it as a solid A. Yeah, David, you probably put it as an S.
I am going to put it as an S.
That's fine.
Actually.
I do love me some Cowboy Bebop, though.
It's the greatest anime of all time.
That's not
it's very interesting hearing you call it an A. I thought you were going to call it an S.
No, solid S. I mean, solid A.
Next, we have Good Luck with Demon School, Marumoshita-kun. It was up there in the My Anime list, so, and that's one I've read a good amount of. I don't know if you guys have.
I haven't. Yeah, I'd put it in the not watch. We need to put something in there.
It's pretty fun. I'm going to give it a B.
I bet you are.
Next, we have the number one currently in the My Anime list ranking. Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Nope.
Now, as someone who has both watched a good amount of this and read almost to completion this manga, it is actually fantastic.
I'm going to trust the weeb community on this one. I'm going to give that a go.
I would probably, too. It is arguable for S tier overall.
Really?
I think it is because it's really funny and it's just really well built.
I sometimes think with the weeb community gets it wrong, but sometimes it's so overwhelming that you just have to see it for yourself. I definitely have to go back and see this for myself.
Yeah, I'll place it up in A tier, but I just remember the one thing that got me to start reading it and watching it was there is a clip of one of the characters. He makes some random remark, and the other character is just shown with the newspaper. She starts folding it up into a fan, tapes it together, and just beats the hell out of him over the head with it. And it's hilarious to watch it happen. They have a narrator that's narrating the whole the day, like at least in the beginning, at the end, and like who won the day. It's a good time. I recommend it highly. Next, we have Gintama.
S tier.
Okay.
Gintama's an S tier. It's the greatest gag manga of all time. And it goes from a gag manga. It's very wordy in the manga itself. I will say that. It's extremely wordy. There's a lot of jokes that Americans won't get, even if you watch the anime, because it's very Japanese culture. But it gets serious. And when it gets serious, it becomes an amazing shonen anime manga. It's two of the best in both tropes. I put it as an S tier because also the influence, if you dabble in any of this seriously, any manga or anime series, you're going to stumble accidentally across Gintama and you'll enjoy it. Dave, do you have anything on that?
Gintama, I'd say S tier. I would say S tier because of how funny it is. Because it's surprisingly, it's like, yet again, one of the most well-built gag animes and mangas of all time.
Yep. Joe, what you got?
I was thinking A tier, but you guys convinced me. Yeah, I'm going to go an S.
It's one of the only things I've seen that can have a whole episode where they're just fighting over a hot pot.
Yeah.
And have it be ridiculously funny.
And Elizabeth.
Next, we have Death Note. Joe, I'll let you start with Death Note.
Okay, so Death Note was one of the first animes I've ever watched that really got me into it. It's always going to have a special spot in my heart, but looking back, I've rewatched it. I'm stuck between a B and an A here. I think the story is really good, and there's a spot. I don't want to spoil just because if you're not into this medium, I think this is a great starter one. There is a spot in the show where it falls off drastically after something insane happens where it should have probably just ended.
It's an S tier if it ends where it's supposed to. It's a B tier because it went on.
Yeah, I was going to say B tier. Good.
It's B tier because it didn't end where it's supposed to. And the fact that it didn't end where it was supposed to and just tried to recreate what it was in a much worse fashion, it felt very lazy and it felt like a money grab. And I don't like money grabs.
And it also just it just didn't pay off. If you wanted to then have, I don't want to.
No, we're not going to go. Dave, do the last one before the next one. So do Hunter x Hunter first.
Okay, I was actually going to throw in 2 more real quick.
I'll throw in 2 more.
Okay, so I know, Alex, you wanted this one in Fairy Tail. Where do you rank that?
I give Fairy Tail a solid, a lower A, B. The reason was because it's a massive cast, a massive group of individuals, and it's difficult to make a massive group of individuals interesting. And they did a good job making it interesting. It's not just Natsu. It's not just Lucy. You have a lot of people. You have Gajil in there. You have Loxus. You have all these characters that you actually get invested in and you enjoy their stories. Is it a little bit over the top sometimes? Yeah. Do I think that they overscale for nonsense at times? Yes. But overall, I think they did a pretty good job with a gigantic cast, making you give a shit about the side characters. I feel like that's a big thing. So I like to put it in A. Joe, you said it was overrated. Where are you at?
Yeah, Poor Man's Black Clover. Give it a D.
I mean, same creator, so of course.
I would just give it a B. I thought I had fun with it, but I didn't think it was anything great.
Okay, what else are you throwing in, Dave?
It could be a C, honestly, for me. And then another one, which you and I both read. I would recommend it to Joe because I don't think you read it yet. Alice in Borderlands.
S.
Overall story-wise, Joe?
I actually started the live action Netflix.
Live action Netflix is okay.
Yeah, I'd give the live action Netflix an A so far, but if what I hear about the manga is what it is, then it's an S.
I think I would say it's an S tier manga rise. We'll talk about the live action after. I have things I want to say about it, but we've gone on for long enough.
Yeah, we've gone on long.
Next, we have Hunter x Hunter.
S tier.
This isn't even a question. Manga is very wordy, especially in the newer volumes, but S tier, it's not even freaking.
They continue to build, and they continue to build, which is great. So they always have to explain what they're building. They don't want to leave you out to dry like some manga and anime do. They always explain what's next to you, which I love.
No, but even the dialogue is just, I'd rather just read a novel. Goddamn.
All right. And Dave, this last one, I'll take this.
Go ahead.
Evangelion. Put it in not watched, because whether you read it or whether you watch it, you have no idea what the fuck is going on. You don't know what's going on. By the time you get like a third of the way through, you have lost the plot. The creators have lost the plot. It's everything and nothing at the same fucking time. That is a not watched, because you can't possibly do it.
Wait, did we not? Why are we missing one of my favorite animes?
What are we missing? Bring it up.
Naruto.
Oh, why isn't Naruto on here? David, you suck.
Oh, wow. How did I miss that?
Wow, you missed one.
I thought I saved it. So I was almost certain
to save it.
It's not even a question. It's an S tier. That's an S tier. The original Naruto was kind of annoying, the anime. The manga is just great throughout. The manga is
B tier.
S tier. Shippuden is absolute S tier.
Yeah.
Boruto is not watched.
Between C and B.
Boruto's a D. Fuck out of here. Boruto sucks.
Well, no, if you take out the filler, it's not too bad.
If you take out the sun, maybe it's okay. Boruto's fucking terrible. There is no redeeming factor about the character Boruto. It was a useless creation. They make and Naruto's fucking useless. He does a few cool things as Hokage. He just comes in. Boruto is Naruto saving the day while watching his son fucking flounder the whole time. It is not good. It is not a good show. It's not. It sucks. Boruto's terrible. I gave Boruto a chance. I read a good amount of it, and I sat there walking away going, this is not Naruto. It's a Dragon Ball GT of Naruto. It is bad. It's bad. I hate it. Hate every moment of it.
I love the universe, so it's hard.
I do love the universe, but I hate that show.
I may or may not save this and send it out.
I want to throw in one last thing. Where do you put Avatar: The Last Airbender? It's an American anime. and Samurai Jack in that sense. I don't know if you guys have seen all Samurai Jack the way I have.
Yeah,
so maybe not.
Samurai Jack, I give it A. Avatar, easy S.
Yeah,
Dave?
I'd agree.
No, I like it. I probably put in both. I love the ending of Samurai Jack, so I could push S. So I'm okay with that.
Tower of God, A.
Tower of God, A. If you want to read the manhwa, it goes on forever. There's like 600 chapters in the manhwa right now. So it gets a lot more. I don't know if they're bringing back the anime. They did the first. They got into the Tower of God at this point. I've spoiled that. I don't fucking care.
It's called Tower of God. There. I don't know what you expect.
Yeah. It's fun to get there. And they have a K-pop band that I actually kind of like, which makes me gay. Anyway, David, you have anything else to add? You said you want to do a quick on Alice in Borderlands. Then we got to get the fuck out of here.
Well, no, after podcast, we'll talk about it with you guys. But I did want to do a quick question. Quick question. Don't go into a spiel over it. Out of all the S's, which is your favorite? You know mine is Chainsaw Man.
Go ahead, Joe. You can got it.
Chainsaw Man.
You're going to be surprised by this. Berserk. The manga is unbelievable.
It slaps, yeah.
The Berserk manga itself pushes, and I can't wait to see what the assistants do with it.
And before we close this out, I want people to take point. If you could get this picture on like all your posts on Instagram, because look at everything B and up. There's only a couple CDs and never watch. This is a good medium, and if you're not watching, you're missing out.
Nobody watches Evangelion. You can't possibly process it.
You can't understand it.
It's so terrible. All right. So that is going to close out this episode. It was, lots of fun doing this with my fellow weebs, my brother and my adopted brother down there, HACKnoCAP. Definitely excited. Friday, the 8th at midnight, HACKnoCAP comes out with his newest EP. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Everything he's done is great up to this point. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you always for joining us. Hack back-to-back weeks made you put in some work. Dave, anything else to add before we close out here?
No, I believe I have it all good. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We tried to run through it as quick as we could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we'll jump back into politics next week. We haven't done that in a while, Dave. So maybe we'll jump into it. There's a lot going on that we can touch on. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but this, Hack has been asking to do this for a little bit, so we had to give it to Hack. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for hanging out for the marathon. So long, y'all.